Hello everyone, this is Jiyun and Portia, and we are going to present about Rwanda. So first of all, let me share the reason why we choose Rwanda. Compared to many African countries, Rwanda has showed a dramatic boost in many parts. Especially it's on the second in the list of best developing nations. Overall, Rwanda seems very interesting to our team, and that's why we choose Rwanda.
Okay, so I'm going to share about how Rwanda has improved generally. In terms of the general GDP per capita, it has increased from 40.54 USD in 1960 to 772.94 USD in 2018. In terms of life expectancy, it has also increased from 40.62 years in 1960 to now 68.34 years in 2017. The literacy rate in Rwanda has also increased from 38.2% in 1978 to now 73.2% in 2018. And in terms of the health sector, we have also seen a decrease in child mortality. It has decreased from 218.2 deaths per 1,000 live births in 1969 to now 35.3 deaths per 1,000 live births in 2018.
Okay, so for next, I'd like to talk about the average life expectancy. So in the Gapminder, the blue color is Rwanda. So if you see the following chart, older countries have been steadily increasing. However, you can see a huge dip in 1994 in Rwanda's graph. This is because about 800,000 people were slaughtered by the Hutu extremists. They were targeting members of the minority Tutsi community as well as their political opponents. From that, you may have a question, did anyone try to stop it and how did it end? The French government sent a force to evacuate their citizens and set up a free zone, but it didn't work very well. Also, US was determined not to get involved in another African conflict. After that, RPF came out by a Tutsi refugee, and now this is political party led by Rwanda's President Kagame. And it's obviously still a sensitive issue in Rwanda. So for next slide, it's about GDP per capita. Although there were chaos in Rwanda, that country showed stable growth in 20 years. Among African countries, it has been well evaluated in many ways, such as stable security, administration, and healthcare. From 2001 to 2014, Rwanda's GDP grew by an average of 8%, and according to World Bank data, it ranked 32nd out of 189 countries in the business environment assessment. Especially Rwanda is famous for its coffee, and the government has trained experts and support them positively. And they aimed to benchmark Singapore to make Rwanda as a business center in Africa. Although there are still many problems to be solved, they cannot deny the progress that has been made in a short period.
So on this slide, I'm going to talk about the literacy rate in Rwanda. The current literacy rate in Rwanda is 73.2%, and this was recorded in 2018. It has increased from 38.2% in 1978 to now 73.2% in 2018, and it is growing at an average annual rate of 12.62%. So when we look at the chart above, we can see Rwanda still in the blue dot, and the trend of increasing literacy rate. And on the left, we can see another graph that is showing the same thing from 1978 until 2018. It's just increasing. So one might ask what adult literacy rate is. So it is the total percentage of the population age 18 and above who can, with understanding, read and write a short, simple statement about their everyday life. Generally, it also encompasses numeracy, that's the ability to make simple arithmetic calculations. So when we look amongst the people of Rwanda, we can see that persons aged between 15 and 59 years are more literate than those 60 years and above. And there is a greater probability to meet person who knows English or French in the first group, which is those between 15 and 59 years, more than you will find amongst those who are 60 and above. And if you are wondering what has caused this increase in literacy, the first reason is free education system. So in 2013, the government of Rwanda introduced free education as part of the government's policy to improve school enrollment in general and the attendance of deprived children in particular. Also, the government has invested so much into teacher training and teaching and learning material assessment. So with support from the US AID and other foreign organizations, the government of Rwanda has increased the opportunities for Rwandan children and youth to succeed in schooling and workplace. And then next, I'm going to talk about the health system in Rwanda. So the health in Rwanda was historically of very poor quality, but in recent decades, it has seen a great improvement. As we can see from the two charts we have here, first from the gapminder on the right, we can see a drastic decrease in the rate of child mortality, and to our left, the other graph depicting the same thing, a decrease in child mortality. So before the genocide era, before 1994, Rwanda's healthcare system received help from the UNICEF and World Health Organization, and progress was started towards decentralizing the health management system. But unfortunately, it was disrupted by the 1994 genocide, which crippled the healthcare system and alongside with the economy. But in the post-genocide period, Rwanda has had an uphill climb in the recovery of its health system and the economy as well. And so in child mortality in particular, it has Rwanda has seen a drastic reduced number of child mortality from 218.2 deaths per 1,000 live births in 1969 to 35.3 deaths per 1,000 live births, which is like a really big improvement in that sector. So how you might ask, how did this happen? How the big change or the big shift? So after the genocide in Rwanda, the government priority was on security, and so it then started to develop a program to reduce maternal mortality and child mortality, and so we began to see a great progress in this. When they started the research, they found out that the top 4 killers of children less 5 years and below were malaria, diarrhea, pneumonia, and malnutrition. And so they focused more on treating and preventing these diseases, which has really helped reduce the child mortality in Rwanda. And in 2018, the government spent 9.7% of its national expenditure only on healthcare, compared with 3.2% in previous years, especially in 1996. And so this shows that there has been more attention paid to the healthcare and also literacy rate and all the other indicators that has seen changes in Rwanda in these recent years. So this is the end of our presentation. Thank you.